eyes. The most remarkable shade of blue. Yet somehow they shine even brighter when you are kind. Would you kiss me? But I am nearly on the shelf, and I have never been kissed, and I am not certain I ever will be. I could die tomorrow.
You are not going to die tomorrow.
But I could, and it would kill me.
You would already be dead.
Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome back to Patten Time. Thank you for joining us today. As you can see from the title, this will be the review for Bridgerton Season 3 Episode 2. So, yes, if you've watched our first episode review, then and you're here, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get into it. Okay, so as we touched on in the first video, we touched on a point where when Penelope wrote about Colin in Lady Whistledown, so this episode showed her not retracting it, but when she was trying to beat her sisters to reading it, because at the end of episode 1, was it end of episode 1 or the beginning of episode 2, where Colin explained himself?
He explained himself in the end of last episode.
Yes. So after that, she now realizes obviously she made a mistake and she's trying to rectify it, but it's too late because it's been published, right?
Yeah, everyone's seen it.
So from that, obviously I didn't like that, because that's what happens when you're quick to publish. As I mentioned in the last review, you're quick to publish before he's even had the chance to explain himself. And then when he has, I've made a mistake,
maybe Lady Whistledown got it wrong,
and then trying to mask it, maybe Lady Whistledown got it wrong. No. Yeah, so that was didn't like that. I guess we saw more of Penelope and Eloise, and I think there was more watching in this one. I mean, it was throughout.
Eloise, yes.
It was throughout, but Eloise was watching Penelope like a hawk,
like crazy, every second.
Rather than just say something or expose her. Why are you stalking her?
Yeah.
Now
it's annoying. Every minute, it's annoying. But so annoying, this episode as well. With this episode, we got a little bit more about the Ton and people in Mayfair as well. What's going on with them? So. For starters, we got a little bit more of the Featheringtons, and that's linking on from Lord Featherington from the last season. That obviously he was a fraud, so he got, she got him out, Lady Featherington. So now there was some sort of contract that basically they get to keep their estate if one of the daughters can produce an heir. Because the estate will go to the heir. So we get a lot of dialogue between the family of trying to produce an heir, and it's just very stupid and funny anyway with these two girls, Philippa and Prudence. Philippa doesn't know how a baby is produced. I was just laughing all the time. First of all, she doesn't know how a baby is produced. Second of all, she doesn't know that a baby come from a woman's womb. And it's just what does this girl actually know? I thought it was funny, to be honest. Stupid, but I thought it was funny.
Silly.
And then obviously with how the baby is made, and how she's talking about doing everything with clothes on, and it's what have you been doing with your husband?
Which is what, and when the mum actually
that was funny,
and she was like, why have I been cursed?
That was funny.
It was
oh man, I couldn't
and it was
laughing.
Obviously then that means,
oh my god,
that literally means that Philippa did not consummate her marriage.
Basically.
I thought it was so funny and so stupid, man. But it's funny though. I don't know if it's necessary, but it was funny. But going off that as well, Mondrich, right? Is that his name?
Mondrich.
So there was a little bit of things going on with Lady Kent, I think, passing away, and I think she's the wife's great aunt or something like that. Or the dad, or Mondrich, something like that.
Mondrich is the wife.
So her great aunt, she passed away. And so she didn't give her the estate to the wife, she actually gave it to their son. So they get gifted this whole estate, and we obviously see them gradually going through that change because they own the club, and we see them struggling to adjust to
the
society, this level of like being important in society, going from owning a club and being up there. So we see that struggle between the two of them, and that battle of how do we adjust now to being members of society.
What I didn't understand was where this sudden need to promote these two characters, because if I'm being honest, in the last 2 seasons, is it Mondrich?
Mondrich,
he was like in the sidelines.
Yeah.
Do you know? He was in the sidelines, and there was no inclination that they were uncomfortable with their status. Like, we didn't know that Mondrich back then wanted to be part of society, and that he craved the attention, or he craved being...
I don't think
so. But now all of a sudden, you've now changed their status before. It's now being part of, to hold some kind of importance. Why have you done that to these two specifically? Yeah. And then also, what I found a bit confusing as well, was they now have a new estate, and these are a married couple. They're a married couple, but they must sleep in separate rooms, because that's how it's done. What do you mean that's how it's done? They're married. Why is it a requirement for them to sleep in separate rooms?
That is how it's done though. In royalty, a royal family, like like the Queen and the King, they never sleep in the same room.
That's just how the Kent household works.
Yeah, that's just the Kent household.
That's the Kent household.
Because Simon and Daphne was not like that.
No,
and Lady
Bridgerton and her
even
husband.
in Queen Charlotte,
true.
Their own Queen and King were not like that.
True.
It's only because they had to separate because he wanted this and because he's mental.
Yeah.
But it was not a requirement for them to not share the same room.
Yeah.
So why was it?
That
didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that they even agreed to do it for a couple of nights was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, this estate is now yours, so you make the new rules.
Yeah, which is what he was trying to explain to the wife.
And I think the wife was more so of just, okay, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
It's a change. We'll just have to adapt. I think she was the one that was kind of like, okay, let's try it.
Yeah. So that was a new storyline there with Mr. Mondrich and his wife. I don't know her name, so we'll put it on screen if you guys know her name. I don't know her name.
No.
I just know Mr. Mondrich. Yeah. So that was a new storyline of the Ton that they added in there.
Yeah. So obviously this episode we saw more of Colin. Specifically with obviously from the last episode he offered to help her find a suitor, to find a husband. And so this episode they were kind of working on like her flirting skills, and they had their little scene in the Bridgerton house where they normally hang around.
Like the lemonade stand.
Yeah, that's it. And basically was saying, for her to practice on him with the whole flirting game and stuff. So they have a little moment there. That was their first moment. Yeah, that was their first little moment where she mentions his eyes. Yeah. And then they hear Eloise in the background, so she has to run and hide in the study because she doesn't obviously want Eloise to see her. And that is where she reads his journal and actually finds the stuff he was up to, and reads some stuff that wasn't meant for her eyes. She reads some stuff that he was saying, the stuff he got up to with women. Yeah. He walks in and catches her basically. Yeah. Gets angry, whatever. And then there was like glass. I don't even know how it happened. Glass or a candle. I think it was a candle.
Yeah, broke
or
dropped and broke.
Yeah, he cuts himself. They have a moment there. Yeah. So that was like the first clue or the first step into Polin. So, I mean that was interesting. I think it was I think for me it was a bit weird to just have a moment like that. You cut yourself and it's just like the little pause and it's just like. Okay. It was a bit weird, but
I just feel like that moment didn't make sense in Polin, because it was like
for her because of what she probably just read, but
but to me it was like, why are you guys all of a sudden having these moments? There needs to be, because you're coming from friendship, you're coming from a pretty strong friendship. So for me, there has to, because you've started like there has to be a gradual process and a gradual increase. Yeah. And to me, this season didn't show that.
But I think the first step into exploring feelings was the talk of the eyes. When she was practicing flirting, because remember she even said, "But we're friends. This is gonna make me even feel more."
Yes.
Because practicing on you would make me even more awkward. Yeah, but she did it anyway, and she put her foot out there. Yeah,
that was something. Yeah,
that was the.
And so then
that sparky moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you come out talking about his eyes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's now interested in you.
No, but I don't think he was interested.
Not then.
Not then.
Well,
not
at the
then.
time where he got his hand, he was.
No, I think it was just
it was just like maybe it's a case of like I wonder more so than not like I have feelings, but it's just like what if.
No,
like,
I
kind
don't
of like
know.
that.
Or maybe it was just that it was just caught off guard. Like
like just in the moment.
In
like,
the moment,
just like,
they're just caught off guard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they're just his hand is hurting.
Cut.
It's cut. She's helping him.
Yeah.
Which is what you would do for a friend.
Yeah.
But then they started to gaze in each other's eyes, the eyes that she already
commented on.
And then now, do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
But that was another moment with Colin.
Moment,
and then from that, I guess the juicy part kind of gets in terms of Eloise, Penelope, Cressida. You know, because Colin now tells because Eloise caught her at the house, saw her leaving, and then Colin
just exchanged glances again, and that was it.
And so Colin actually tells Eloise what she was doing at the house and tells her that he's helping her to find a husband. She then fast forwards and tells Cressida, and then out of nowhere, the secret has been exposed that Colin is helping Penelope to find a husband.
Yeah.
And so that's a big hoo-ha. Penelope's embarrassed. She runs out like a ball. She runs out and everything. Obviously, and then Eloise, that's what she says. She's just running after her like
what is she actually going to do? Because you're not friends anymore.
And then Colin comes out and Colin gets mad at Eloise because she was the only person that he told. So he's like, why would you do this? What could Penelope possibly have done to deserve all of this? And it was just a big thing.
But to touch on that as well, because I remember watching it and I was like, what? I was like, what is Eloise doing? Like, listen, like, nobody's saying that you can't feel sorry for her. Nobody's saying that you even want her to be embarrassed in front of the ton.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying this.
Yeah.
But after everything that she has done to you, and after, you've stopped being friends, and we saw even in episode 1 that Eloise didn't want anything to do with Penelope. So the moment she's running out in tears, you're there breezing after her, and it's just like, why are we sorry? Why are we like?
Well, she did say in the carriage to Colin, you know, we're not friends anymore. We're not. We may not be talking, but it's not like I
wish anything.
anything.
No, but we don't.
No, but at the same time, you can still not wish bad on her and just not care for her status or what's going on. Like you just keep yourself out of it.
Exactly.
So for you to be chasing after her because you saw her run out the ball because of a secret that you revealed, that is not your concern. That is not your concern because you weren't the one that spread the rumor. So therefore, just stay out of it.
Yeah, and then I think what made it so annoying the way they delivered it in this season was the fact that she was so angry at the end of season 2. And she went off on Penelope. She was not having it. And it's like this now, obviously time has passed, but it's like there's such a sudden switch now to the point where it's like, we're not friends anymore, but I'm gonna watch your every move. I'm gonna stalk you. I'm gonna run after you when you're sad. Why are we doing that from how angry you were for her ruining you?
And it just, for me, it doesn't make sense why Eloise is doing that.
But yet you still don't want anything to do with her.
Yeah.
But you're the first one to run after her when she's crying.
And it's like, why is Eloise doing that to Pen and not Pen to Eloise? Why is it Eloise the one that's like, I wonder, and why is Pen not doing that to Eloise? It was Pen that wrote about Eloise.
Yeah,
so but Pen doesn't seem that interested in Eloise.
Yeah, but to be honest, Penelope is still trying to get back into her book.
No, she is, but only when Eloise comes around. Yeah. It's Eloise that goes to her house and the Pen is like, do you want to come in? It's not. Yeah. So it's like, why is Eloise doing the most to try and... but then she doesn't want anything to do... But she doesn't want anything to do with her.
She's doing the most.
Penelope doesn't have it in her to...
I think that's probably what it is.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the two characters.
Yeah.
Penelope doesn't have it in her. She knows she's doing the wrong.
Yeah.
But she would rather, to avoid confrontation...
Yes.
It's true. I'm just going to slip into the shadows.
It's true.
And not say a word.
Yeah.
It's true.
Because that is who she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and because her crutch has been revealed and she's the only one that cannot hide with Eloise now, because she can hide with everyone else, but only Eloise knows her.
True.
So
Yeah.
she just rather just take a step back.
Yeah. And so following on from that, then obviously because Eloise only told one person, which was Cressida. So Eloise gets mad at Cressida because she's thinking, why, you know, etc. Then, you know, Cressida's basically like, you know, there was people around, you know, why would you just think it was me or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing happens. They have a little bit of a falling out. And so this is when, like, the big thing happens is that Lady Whistledown writes about herself. Because she's like, how can Lady Whistledown write about everybody else and not Penelope?
It would be suspect.
And so it will be suspect. Exactly.
And I think we should touch on that.
And so she wrote about herself, about the situation.
So yeah, to touch on that, I kind of had mixed feelings about that when I watched it, but I think my main feeling was that I don't like the fact that you wrote about yourself in Lady Whistledown. And the reason is, and Penelope said the reason she wrote about herself was to not reveal her identity. It had nothing to do with, oh, well, I write about everybody else's scandal, so I really should be the same.
No,
I should write about myself.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with it. It was to hide her identity.
Yeah.
And because that was her reason, I was like, excuse me, not to be like, if you write about other people, write about yourself. You deserve that because you do it to other people. But that wasn't your reason.
No, it wasn't. It was to save herself again.
So therefore, I'm not involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I viewed it.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a noble reason for it, then I would have been like, okay, Penelope, all right, you know. But there wasn't.
Yeah, and it's true because now that you're saying it like that, because I didn't see it like that. When I saw it, I was like, oh, it's good, you know, because you, as the author, you have the choice to decide what goes in these bulletins and what doesn't, and you chose to put yourself in there and blast yourself, basically, which I thought was very good.
Yeah,
I thought that was very good because she didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
but
she would have had to because. How can Lady Whistledown write about everybody else but not Penelope?
Yeah, she would have given herself away.
And that's why she did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't really care when she did it. I was just like, okay, whatever. You had to do it anyway because you weren't going to give yourself up. We already know you ain't going to give yourself up anytime soon. So we know exactly why you did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, then obviously people giving their sympathies. Obviously her mum getting more mad at her.
Yeah. So
and about her life being single isn't too bad.
Yeah.
And all that. So a little bit more of that. But then that led in towards the end of the episode. Well, the end.
Yeah,
of the episode,
which was probably
Penelope and Colin kiss.
Which
well, I think the reasoning behind it was dumb. I think.
Well, let's address the fact that obviously what we're about to say now is most likely going to be an unpopular opinion for Colin fans.
Yeah.
Leah kind of touched on it briefly just now. The kiss between Colin and Penelope at the end of this season, the reasoning behind the kiss was annoying.
Yeah.
And to me it was dumb. I'm very, very sorry to say it. Mm-hmm. But to me it was like, oh, Colin, you know, I've never been kissed. And I don't want to die tomorrow and not have him being kissed.
Yeah.
Colin, can you kiss me?
Please kiss me, basically. And it's not. And you know what? Yeah, with what she was saying, you know what? Okay, this is how I think.
Sorry.
I personally, it's not for me. It's like it's not that I fully disagree with what Penelope said or what she was saying. It's not that I fully disagree with Penelope.
Yeah.
My issue is Colin. Why would you do it? I'm not saying that Penelope is... I get Penelope's point. Honestly, I get Penelope's point. Colin, why would you do it? I get her point. Why would you do it? You're her friend. You are her friend.
Yeah.
Comfort her in whatever way you want to comfort her, but why do it? You're her friend. I just don't understand.
And obviously, yes, Colin tried to dissuade her from it, but Colin should have never kissed her for that reason.
No.
And Penelope, those words should have not come out of your mouth. I understand your opinion, but keep it to yourself.
Yes. Yes,
he shouldn't have done it.
And I think for me, that's what it was. It was your statement should have remained in your head.
In your head,
Okay,
please.
yeah,
It should have remained in your head.
In your head,
Because
please.
how can you
No,
say, oh, but if I die tomorrow, you know, I don't want to die having never been kissed.
Because that would really kill me.
Like, and then even when Colin said, but you'd already be dead, it's so true because you'd be dead. So why, like, how can you say such? It just, I was so confused.
I was so confused.
And when she was saying the statement, it was so heartfelt, but I
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
no heart. It was like, I didn't have to.
I was watching it, and I remember just being like,
yeah, I was just like,
It's a silly statement.
it's so silly.
Keep it in your head.
No, okay, yeah.
Keep it in your head because
Oh.
I don't understand.
And for that to be the reason for your first kiss, I'm
Yes.
not feeling the love, I'm
Yes,
not feeling the
exactly.
romance, I'm not
Yeah,
feeling the authenticity.
Exactly. That's
I'm not feeling it.
And that's why it's like he shouldn't have done it. And it's like this. It's just like, why did that have to be your first? And then
Why?
after that, and then after, thank you, and then gone. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then episode done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not-
It was weird.
It was weird.
It was,
It was
just
weird.
no.
It was weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, but no.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, Polin fans.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
we're sorry.
Sorry.
We're sorry.
But
Yeah, but no.
that was weird. Sorry.
Yeah. So that was where the episode ended.
Yeah.
That's where the
With the
episode
kiss.
ended.
Yeah.
And Colin
Yeah.
was like, well, he was dumbfounded. He was like, what just happened? But
Yeah, and she walked away and she left. So
yeah.
yeah, that was the end of the episode. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, if you enjoyed our review of the episode, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us today, returning subscribers and new subscribers. Welcome to you all. Please stay tuned for the review for episode 3, because we'll be touching more on there, and it links into from where we finished here. So yeah. Yeah, guys, so we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Patten time out.